Hey guys, this is Eric from FinalCutStudioSchool.com, and I'm here to show you a quick text trick with Shake. This is what we're going to end up with, if you can see. It's just my name with some smoke. It's fairly simple, nothing big. But I'm going to show you how to do this in Shake because this is not done with particles. I learned this from CMI Visual Effects, and I'm going to share it with you. So let me branch over here and start a whole new tree. So I'm going to go to my Image tab. I want to start with a text node. This will throw up a text node, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to change it to my name. Go back up here, click on the node, hit the R key to refresh it, and now as you can see it has EMEEK77 inside the text node there. So now what we're going to want to do is I'm going to add a gradient. You're going to end up using the gradient node a whole lot. So let me go in here and add a gradient. This is just a common gradient like anything else would be. So now what I want to do is I want to make these things interact. So I'm going to add a quick paint to my gradient. So I'm going to go to my Image tab, add a quick paint. Now this will bring up my quick paint controls. I'm going to leave my interpolation and persist control set to frame. I'm going to select make sure I'm parked on frame 1. I'm going to select my smudge tool. Let me expand this out, and I'm going to go through here and make some random marks, smudges like this right here. Just go up and down just till I get a little bit of effect here. Like that. Okay, now let me go to my last frame, and I'm going to do the same thing. Then we're going to tell Shake to animate in between these shapes. And I'll show you what I'm talking about right now in a minute, as soon as I get done with this right here. Now this ain't going to be perfect, guys. You all want to take one more time than this. Any of these tutorials that I'm showing you, if you get done with them in less than 2 hours, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. So please take your time on your work and don't sell yourself short. Very time consuming process. Okay, now we have this painting on frame 1 and frame 2. So now I'm going to go into my paint edit controls, and when I click the edit button it'll show my path of my paint, and I can come over to my parameters and it shows I have 2 strokes, the stroke I laid on frame 1 and the stroke I laid on frame 11. So I'm going to go to my convert stroke tab and click it. This little box floating box will come up. Now you can set your strokes to persistent or interpolate. Now I don't want it to stay persistent. That means it stays the same throughout the whole scene. I want it to interpolate, which means it will animate itself. And the stroke range that I want to interpolate, I only have 2 strokes, so I'm going to put 1, 2. If I had 4 strokes, I'd put 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So now I'm going to hit OK. Now what this is going to do is this is going to animate my strokes in between frame 1 and frame 2. Now, when I scroll through the scene, you can see these strokes are animating between frame 1 and frame 100. Okay, so now that we have that set up, I'm going to add a contrast luma to my quick paint. So I'll go to my color tab, select contrast luma, and I'm going to bring this sucker up to where it's... Also, if you go the opposite direction, you can see we have a cool flame, like fire starting to happen here. If you wanted to change the color, the gradient to all red, and that's just another option you have. But that's not the way I'm going with this. I'm going to bring this up to where it's really bright. I'm going to say like that, right there. Now that's looking pretty good. It kind of looks like a reflection of some kind. Now keep this in mind if you ever want to do a reflection or something, So now I'm going to take my text and plug it into my mask of my gradient. And I'm also going to take my text, and plug it in to the mask of my contrast luma. If I can get it over there, like that, right there. Now as you can see, we have the smoke that kind of looks like it's coming through our text. Not too bad, huh? So now I want to, soften this up a little bit. So I'm going to go into my contrast luma. I'm going to find a Dream Soft tab. And this is you could do this with brightness and other nodes. This is just a macro that I have, third-party macro, and it's right here, DreamySoft. And I add it, and it'll bring this little node in, and I'm going to connect my contrast luma with it. And I'm going to bring it up to where it's kind of bright, but not too bright. And then in between contrast luma and the DreamySoft, I'm going to add a brightness node. I'm going to bring the brightness up a little bit so we can brighten up our smoke. Now you can see what we have. We're animating along through here. Now I'm going to give it a background. So to my DreamySoft node, I'm going to go to my layer tab and insert an over node. Now this is going to make it ready for whatever background we're going to use. I'm going to use a gradient. So I'm going to go to my color tab or my image tab, select gradient, and then throw in my gradient. I'm going to go down here to my parameters, and I'm going to change my colors. I'm going to change this to black, change this to blue, and change this to black, and I'm going to change this one to blue, like that right there. And I'm going to go in and make it a little darker, control my luminance a little bit, like that. I'll do the same thing with this. There, now we have a nice bluish background. Let me refresh my node so I can see what it looks like. Now I'm going to bring my gradient that I just made into my over node. When I double click, you can see what we have here. But I want to make a mask to kind of clean it up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my DreamySoft node. I'm going to go to my color tab. And I'm going to shift click reorder, so it'll branch off from my DreamySoft tab. Now in my reorder parameters, I'm going to change my channels. I want to use this as a mask, so I'm going to change it from RGBA to LLLL. This will change it right here, black it to my luminance channel. It'll make it be able to use it as a mask. Now I'm going to add an invert node. Like that, and then I'm going to plug it in to the side of my over node for the mask input. And what we have here is our finished product. Let me go into my globals 1 through 100. Let me render a flip book for you real fast. Now you can experiment with this. You can do whatever you want with it. The possibilities are unlimited. Like I said, I'd want to go in here and remove this red fringe that's going along around my letters where the smoke is contacting, and I can do that, not a problem. I just wanted to basically show you an idea of some of the things you can do in Shake. So let me go ahead and hit the period key so I can play what I do got rendered back. It's 100 frames and I've got 35 frames rendered. So as you can see, when I play it back, it's just a smoky text. So I hope you guys have learned something. If you have any questions, get a hold of me at FinalCutStudioSchool.com, and we'll see you next time.